Hello, welcome to take your test. I'm Sofia and today I'll be your examiner. First, I need your details and your identification. And could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, nice to meet you. My name is Stiven Peña. Take my identification card.
Thank you. So that's right. Let's start with the first part of your exam. We're going to start with some little questions. So the first one is, what do you study?
I study a Bachelor of Foreign Languages, like English and French.
Okay, so it is a popular career in your country?
I think so. My subject is very important in my country and very popular because the English is very common around the world. So Colombia is no exception.
Well, nice. So, do you plan to get a job in the same field as your career?
Yes, of course, I'm planning to get a job in that field as an English or Portuguese teacher in Brazil or here in Colombia.
Where is your hometown?
My hometown is Fusagasugá in Cundinamarca, located in the center of Colombia, very close to Bogota.
How could your hometown be improved?
Maybe if it would have an improved transport system and better streets.
Has your hometown changed much since you were a child?
Currently, I think my hometown is bigger than when I was a child. It's pretty and more green because we have more plants and trees in the park, and I think it's more pretty and much beautiful than when I was a child.
So that was very interesting. Now we're going to the second part, and I will give you a card with the topic. You're going to have a minutes to prepare what you're going to talk about. Then you will need a few minutes to speak and describe a piece of advice you recently received. So when this happened, who gave you the advice, what the advice was, and explain how you feel about the advice.
2 weeks ago, I was with my grandmother and I was in her house. So I was listening music so loud. So my grandmother said me that I was breaking the rules of the neighborhood. So she advised me to let the volume of my speaker, but I didn't love that idea, that advice, because I stayed very angry with her. But in fact, she was right, and that was a very, very good advice because it's very important to respect the peaceful of the neighborhoods.
Well, I see. That was a good advice. Now, finally, the last part, but not the less important. In speaking part 3, I will ask a broader range of questions based on the topic that you had in speaking 2. So the questions require you to expand your answers further with explanation and examples of the word in general. So the first one is family important in your country?
In Colombia, we thought that the family is the center of the society. Most of us want to have a family in the future, or being a family, or build a family. So I think in Colombia, it's important the family, like the traditional family, or different ways, because nowadays the family is so different. It's possible to find a family, someone with only a father or two mothers or two fathers, or with their grandmother or their grandfather or an uncle or an aunt. The family is very, very different. So it's important, but it depends with the different people. It's very different between the persons around the country, but it's important in every ways.
What role do grandparents play in the family in your country?
That depends, because in Colombia all the families are not the same, but in general the role of the grandparents is very important with interaction with their grandchildren. So it's very common to see even grandparents only with 40 years old. That's, like I said, it's very, very different between one family with another family, because we have very different regions, different traditions, and depends of very ways. But in general, the grandparents are a very important role in our lives.
Well, Steven, that was all. It was a pleasure to have this exam with you. I will give you the feedback in some days. Don't worry about it. I will send you the feedback. So, nice to meet you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.